What's up everybody, this is Mark from MJ Aquascaping. It's been a little while, but I'm finally back making another video for the Boraras Fresh YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to share my top 10 favorite nano fish. If you're familiar with my content, then you know that I absolutely love setting up nano tanks. But I think most people will sometimes feel like with a small tank, you're quite limited with your fish choice. So hopefully with this video can give you some new inspiration and then you know what to look for next time you're at the fish shop or setting up a small nano tank. I'm going to be counting down from 10 to 1, so make sure you watch this video all the way to the end to find out my absolute favorite nano fish. Okay, let's get straight to it. On number 10 I wrote down the Ember Tetras. In my opinion this is like the perfect beginner fish because these guys are very hardy, they will eat pretty much anything and they're very affordable as well, at least here in the Netherlands. You can buy a large group of them without emptying your entire wallet. These guys can be a little bit pale in the store or when you first introduce them to your tank, but once they get comfortable and they color up, they have a really beautiful bright orange color. Then on number 9 I have a new favorite, the Rosy Loach. I've been keeping these guys for a few months now and they're really fun to watch. They're quite active swimmers and they're always interacting between each other. So yeah, this is a new favorite. Now because of the elongated body, they are probably the largest fish on this list. I think they grow to about 3 or 4 centimeters. So I would keep these guys in like a 45 centimeter or like a 60 centimeter tank. So a slightly bigger nano tank if you will. And with the Rosy Loaches it's actually quite easy to tell the difference between male and female because the males are this really quite bright orange brownish color with like a stripe in the center. And the females are more grayish and they have more dots on them. Then on number 8 I wrote down the green neon tetra. So these guys are basically like the classic cardinal tetras, but then a smaller version of it. Like full grown cardinal tetras can still be quite big, but the green neon tetra stays a little bit smaller. Now just like the ember tetras, these guys are very hardy, not fussy about food whatsoever. And a large shoal of green neon tetras just looks good in any type of aquarium, you know. Now green neon tetras can be a little bit shy sometimes. So if that's the case with yours as well, then I would either recommend to add some floating plants to your aquarium. So there's just a little bit more places for them to hide. Or add a second dinner fish, someone that is a little bit more comfortable. And those comfortable fish will actually help make the green neon tetras feel more comfortable as well. It's kind of funny how that works, but it's always a good solution. Then on number 7 we have the spotted blue-eye rainbowfish, and these guys, I really love them. So for me personally, when I'm looking for a nano fish, I'm actually looking for two things. So I'm looking for a fish with a nice color and I'm looking for a fish with nice behavior as well. I like fish with interesting behavior and these spotted blue eyes, they definitely have that. So they got a beautiful yellowish, bluish color to them and they're just really fun to watch, especially the males when they're trying to impress the females. They're just kind of constantly sparring between each other and it's always really fun to watch. Now I really love this fish, but there's one thing that you have to keep in mind. If you're looking for a zen aquarium, something very peaceful, then maybe this is not the right choice because these spotted blue eyes have a lot of energy and like constantly going from left to right and they're a very active, very busy fish. So if you're looking for something peaceful, then maybe choose something else. On number 6 I wrote down the Scarlet Badis. This is another absolute favorite of mine. I've kept them a few times in the past 6-7 years I think. And they're really tiny. I think the males only grow to 2 centimeters maximum and the females like 1 or 1.5 centimeters. But the males are stunning. They have a beautiful deep red color and then some iridescent blue in the fins as well. Absolutely love them. Now they can be a little bit aggressive. So in a nano tank, like let's say a 30 centimeter cube, I would only go for 1 or 2 males and then 3 or 4 females, I guess. Now this is another fish that will not really have a lot of color in the fish shop. So you might just walk past them, you might not notice them, but yeah, once you add them to your aquarium and once they get comfortable, the males are beautiful. Highly recommend the Scarlet Badis. Then on number 5 we have another tetra. This time it's the ruby tetra. I actually have a group of them in this tank behind me, and they're very similar to the Ember Tetra, but in my opinion these guys are a little bit more colorful. Now it could be just me, but I do feel like the ruby tetra is a little bit more shy compared to an Ember Tetra. So in this tank, when I started this tank, I just had the ruby tetras. They were constantly hiding in the plant mass. So I actually added a small group of the threadfin rainbows, and yeah, the threadfin rainbows are more comfortable, so they kind of help to make the ruby tetras feel more comfortable as well. And now I see them a lot more. Actually another really good nanofish, the threadfin rainbow, just didn't make it in the top 10. Then on number 4 we probably have one of the cutest little nanofish. On number 4 I wrote down the tail spot Corydoras. And I would just absolutely love to have another group of these guys again, so I might have to set up another tank for them. Yeah, I had these guys in the past, and if you're familiar with Corydoras, then you'll know that they mostly stay at the bottom. They're kind of just hovering over the sand, kind of just digging into the substrate. But tailspot Corydoras, they swim more into the middle section of the tank, which is really fun to watch. And these guys do feel way more comfortable in a larger group, so I would go for at least 8 of them, but preferably like 10 or more. So I guess these nanofish are more suitable for a slightly larger tank, like a 45 centimeter or a 60 centimeter tank. Okay, then we get to my top 3 favorite nanofish, and on number 3 I wrote down the Paskai rainbows, or the orange neon blue eye rainbows. I'll put the scientific name on the screen. So these guys are very similar to the spotted rainbows that I mentioned earlier, but the Paskais will stay a little bit smaller, so even better for nano tanks. I would say they're a little bit more colorful as well. Actually recently bought another group of them, but they're still quite small, so they don't really have a lot of color just yet. But I'll overlay some footage from the Paskais that I had a few years ago. They were a lot bigger and beautiful orange color, and had the same behavior as the spotted ones. Then on number 2 I wrote down the chili Rasboras. I think this is actually the smallest fish from this top 10. Beautiful nanofish. There's actually a few different varieties of these tiny Rasboras. You have the chilies, you have the mosquito is the same. Exclamation point, Phoenix Rasboras, and then there's loads of others. But I think the chilies are like the most colorful. So a really tiny fish, so perfect for like those small nano tanks, 30 centimeter cube for example. And then you can have like a group of 8 or 10 of them. Because they're so small, you need to be a little bit more mindful about feeding as well. Just make sure you have like really tiny flakes or really tiny granules. But if you really want their colors to pop, I would always recommend to have, just to give them some live food, you know, like Daphnia for example. Then the last one, my all-time favorite nanofish is the celestial pearl Danio. I think a lot of people would put this on number 1 as well. They're just beautiful, like they have this blue body with some spots on them, and then the males will develop these really bright red fins. Just looks amazing. Interesting behavior as well, like the males will always be trying to impress the females, really like kind of sparring with each other. Just a lot of fun to watch. They're quite small. I think males will grow to about 3 centimeters, so perfect for a nano tank. And they're quite readily available. They can be quite expensive, but I would say they're definitely worth it. So that was my personal top 10 favorite nanofish. Hope this will give you some inspiration if you're about to stock your next nano setup. There's way more beautiful nanofish, so if you want me to make another nano fish list, just let us know in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.